Added a partner up here on TT Sports Now. Thanks for being with us here on this cold night.
Welcome, Al Carbone, SEC Commissioner. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for coming in.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
Always like to come on the nice, cold winter nights.
Well, we thank you for saving us. Not a whole lot going on the courts and on the ice tonight, but there is plenty to talk about when it comes to. Let's first, because we have a couple things we want to bring up with you, and you're always so bashful. But the alliance, the football alliance with the scheduling.
Yes.
Tell us how this came to be and the benefits of it for all of these schools.
Well, 3 years ago, the SEC, along with the SWC and the ECC, formed an alliance, scheduling alliance, and we scheduled probably about 70 games over 2 years with all of our teams in the SWC and the SEC. The ECC had about 6 teams. One of the things that we do as commissioners is we have periodic meetings, and we talked about the scheduling partnership, and we wanted more leagues, and so we were lucky, very happy that the CCC and the FCAC were able to come on. So now we had 84 teams, a total of 99 games that were scheduled for just the 2019 season. So we just released it last week. Some really great matchups, and we're looking, and it's really the first step to a statewide football scheduling model, where a group of us commissioners or leagues get rid of leagues because there's no league championship games anymore.
You're systematically eliminating.
Going by classes and by size, and using a lot of variables to get competitive games.
You bring up interesting matchups. I think this is interesting, and I know Newtown is not in your league, the SEC, but Newtown has been criticized in the past for not getting big games, not playing a tough enough schedule. Now you look at what Newtown is going to have ahead of it, and you've got, I think they have Fairfield Prep, I think they have West Haven, and there's an FCAC team I think they're playing in there as well.
Danbury, I think, too.
So all of a sudden, Newtown, just like that, has improved its schedule.
Right, and I think that's the point where, and I say this from the SEC's standpoint, 25 years ago, a league that was created from 4 different leagues, urban, suburban, all this stuff. If that were to happen today, it would never happen. We would never have an SEC nowadays, because there is such a difference in, as we talk about sports programs, but especially football. You have big, small, the classes. There's elite teams and non-elite. So doing a scheduling model now, a partnership where you are going and looking at data, you're looking at records, you're looking at enrollment, you're looking at squad size, you're looking at sub-varsity programs, you're looking at variables where you are, and you can schedule like teams to play competitive, hopefully competitive games. You still have to play the games, but that's what scheduling should be about.
Are you looking, when you're analyzing all this data, are you looking at it from a 2-year period, a 5-year period, 10-year period? How are you getting the determination?
For the Alliance, we use 5 years of records. And obviously, you look at recent success and things like that. But all the variables of where you are, enrollment, your squad size, and really like where you are as a program. And I think with the one of the important things about the alliance is, like in the FCAC, not all the teams were involved in it. The CCC had 1 or 2 weeks where they got games, but the SEC, we got our teams 4 games. The SWC, same thing, 4 games. So again, if you're at Newtown, you're not playing number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 4 teams. You're going to see a range of teams in that are Class LL programs, which you should see. And that's always the big, I would say, controversy with football scheduling is when you look at your schedule, how many of those 10 games should be competitive games? It should be as close to 10 as possible.
Sure. And we're seeing Southington here, and you've got Southington with a nice matchup against Darien.
Right.
That's a game. Who's not going to want to see that game?
Right. And we have and one of the things that we talked about as a committee when we talked about every matchup. We talked about whether they were good matchups, and like the CCC was in for 1 game, and Southington is the second example of your Newtown one. CCC always 9-1, 10-0. Maybe they've lost in the state playoffs, because it's all about getting to the state playoffs. And It's all about making sure that if in those 4 classes, the best 8 teams in those classes get into the playoffs. And so if you're a Class L team and you're playing Class L teams throughout your schedule, then you have an impact on whether those other teams jump ahead of you or are behind you in the final standings, but for those playoffs.
Real quick, is this the precursor for other sports? Are you going to do it in basketball, hockey, et cetera, baseball?
Well, first of all, ice hockey does it right now because they have Division 1, 2, and 3,
yes,
so
right.
they're already doing it, and that's the model for which I think football classification should be going to, like a 1, 2, 3 model. Basketball is doing it with 1, 2, 3 because basketball, baseball, they play so many games. I think that's probably not down the road because you're getting competitiveness with the sizes. Football is its own animal because there's only 10 games. And again, the health and safety aspect, which is now under scrutiny with hitting and the competitiveness, when running time, 35-point leads. I think football is the good start for it.
Love it. Hey, there's so many other things we'd love to talk to you about, but we're getting word in our ears that we're running out of time. So you'll come back?
Absolutely.
We love it.
Absolutely.
We love it. We'll wait for a good, cold, stormy night.
Tomorrow.
Al Carbone, Commissioner of the SEC, joining us. Thank you, Al. We'll be right back with more here on CT Sports Now.